Space was silent. Not the calm, comforting kind of silence that humans sometimes imagined. This silence was heavy, oppressive, like the universe itself was holding its breath in shock. It was a silence that followed destruction. Far from Earth, beyond the usual travel lanes, near a dangerous field of floating asteroids, a small alien ship drifted aimlessly. It was broken. Its metal body had been torn open. Its engines were dead. Its wings were bent, like a bird that had fallen too far from its nest. No lights shone from its windows. No signals called for help. No one moved. The ship had collided, and anyone who passed this sector would have assumed the same thing. No one could survive that. No one. Captain Hale sat in the bridge of the human patrol ship Aurora Dawn, staring at the dark void through the wide glass window. Was young, barely in his 30s, but his eyes were sharp and tired, like they had already seen far too much of the universe. He had seen battles, he had seen death, he had seen worlds fall into chaos. But he had never seen something like this before. "Routine scan complete," Officer Mark said, his voice breaking the tense silence. "Nothing unusual detected, sir," he added, still glancing nervously at the outside. Nodded slowly, but he did not look away from the empty space in front of them. "Keep scanning every frequency, every signal," he said. "This area is dangerous. I don't like flying blind." The stars outside seemed calm, shining with blue and golden light. But knew better. Space could be beautiful. Space could also be deadly. Suddenly, the radar screamed a sharp alert. Beep, beep, beep. The bridge froze. Mark's hands hovered above his console. "Sir, I'm detecting something," he said carefully, almost in disbelief. Walked closer. "What kind of something?" Mark typed quickly, the console lighting up his tense face. "A wrecked ship," he said finally. His eyebrows knitted. "Show me," he said. The screen zoomed in on a small vessel floating silently in the void. It was burned, torn, and broken. Its hull was riddled with holes. The wings were cracked and bent. The lights of the ship were dark. The shape of the vessel was elegant, almost delicate. It was clearly an alien design, royal in style, not military. The crew around whispered among themselves. "That's a royal transport," Officer Lena said quietly, her voice trembling. His eyes narrowed. "Royal from which system?" "Empire," Mark replied, his fingers hovering nervously over the console. The bridge went quiet. They were one of the oldest and most powerful civilizations in this quadrant. Their royalty was heavily protected. Entire fleets traveled to guard just one of their young princes or princesses. So why was their ship floating here, alone? His jaw tightened. "Life signs?" he asked. Mark shook his head. "None detected, sir." The human officers exchanged nervous glances. "No one could survive a collision like this," Lena said softly. Did not respond immediately. Something inside him whispered, "Look closer." He could feel it in his chest, a pull, a voice of instinct that had never steered him wrong before. "Scan again," said. "All frequencies, every spectrum. I want full analysis." Mark hesitated. "Sir, the scanners." "Do it again," interrupted. "Yes, sir," Mark said, his fingers flying over the controls. The console hummed, working at maximum power. Seconds passed. 10, 20, 30. Then, a faint blip appeared on the screen. It was small, fragile, weak. Mark blinked. "Sir, there is something," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Leaned in. "Explain," he demanded. "One very weak life signal," Mark said. The crew's faces went pale. "In that wreck?" Lena asked, her voice shaking. His jaw tightened. "Nothing is impossible," he said quietly. Change course, we're going to that ship. Mark looked at him nervously. Captain, it's dangerous, unstable, we could lose. I know, replied. But someone is alive, and as long as I am captain, we do not leave living people behind. No one spoke after that. They all knew. Hale always meant what he said. The Aurora Dawn moved carefully through the asteroid field. Shattered metal, dead satellites, and debris from other collisions floated around them. One wrong move, and they would join the wrecked ship in the void. His hands were steady on the controls, guiding the patrol ship with precision. Every move was deliberate, every decision measured. Distance 200 meters, Mark reported. 150, Lena added. 100 said. Stop. The Aurora Dawn hovered gently beside the alien vessel. The human crew stared in awe and fear. The wreck was worse than they had imagined. A massive hole on its side revealed the inner chambers, burned and twisted. Metal hung like dead vines, floating in zero gravity. Inside, black smoke curled like ghostly fingers. Faint glimmers of fire danced across the walls. This is bad, Lena whispered. Stood and took a deep breath. Prepare rescue suits and tether lines. I'm going in. Mark froze. You're going yourself, he asked. Looked at him. Yes, there's someone alive inside, and I won't wait for instructions. Captain, that's... I know, said softly. Since when did we choose easy over right? The officers did not argue. They had learned long ago. If decided to save someone, no argument, no protocol, no danger could stop him. Minutes later floated in the airlock, fully suited, helmet gleaming. Oxygen tanks full, communications clear. His heart raced, not from fear but from responsibility. He could feel it deep in his chest. Someone's life was in his hands. He opened the airlock door. Cold, endless space greeted him. Darkness swallowed the wreck. He jumped and began moving slowly toward the alien ship, tether lines securing him in case of drift. Inside, the wreck was worse than he imagined. The air was thin, smoke floated like ghosts. Wires dangled from ceilings. Floors were cracked. Walls were burned black. No lights, no warmth, no sound. Only death. Hello, called through his radio. This is Captain Hale of the human ship Aurora Dawn. If anyone is alive, please respond. Only silence replied. Step by step, room by room, he searched. Hope began to fade. Maybe it was too late. Maybe no one had survived. Then, he heard it. A sound. Soft, fragile. A sob. A quiet, broken cry. Froze. He followed the sound through shattered doors, down twisted hallways, past floating debris. It led him to a small, royal chamber. The door was crushed almost beyond recognition. He forced it open. Inside, there she was. A young alien girl. A princess by the symbols on her torn royal robes. Her skin glowed faintly blue. Her long silver eyes were wide with fear and pain. She was wrapped in torn fabric, weak, trembling. Her soft cries filled the silent chamber. His chest tightened. A royal princess. Protected by fleets. Feared by entire empires. And yet here she was alone, broken, afraid. Princess, whispered. She looked up, startled. Human, she breathed disbelief in her voice. Knelt in zero gravity, slowly approaching. I'm here to help, he said softly. Tears streamed down her face, falling slowly in weightless arcs. Please don't leave me, she whispered. His heart broke. I won't, he said firmly. I promise I've got you. The wreck groaned. Metal screamed under pressure. Air pressure fluctuated. Alarms in suit blared warnings. The ship was collapsing. "Captain, the wreck is unstable. Leave now," his crew shouted. Looked at the princess, too weak to move. If he left, she would die. If he stayed, they could both die. But remembered what his father once told him. Being human isn't about strength. It's about doing what's right, even when it's dangerous. He swallowed. "I'm staying," he whispered. And he held her close. Space was cold. The wreck was breaking. Debris flew. Fire sparked along the walls. But pushed with everything he had. Every ounce of strength. Every thought. Every hope. He would not let her die.